Pay attention, listen up if you are new in Hong Kong, especially if you are going to sign a tenancy agreement very soon. Today, I would like to show you what a standard tenancy agreement looks like in Hong Kong and how you can negotiate a better deal for yourself. Holding on my hand is the tenancy agreement that I have with my tenant, and I would like to go through some important points with you on what a standard tenancy agreement is. Most tenancy agreements in Hong Kong, if not all, are bilingual. So if you do not read Chinese, don't worry. The Chinese and English wordings are side by side. The typical tenancy agreement between landlord and tenant is for 1 year fixed and 1 year adjustable. So the first year is fixed and the second year is adjustable. Up front, you have to pay fees to the agent. Keep in mind, the typical standard TA is 2 months upfront deposit and 1 month advance rent. Of course, this is negotiable, but this is the standard practice in Hong Kong. So, you might ask, what are the essential information which will be stated in the tenancy agreement? Number 1, it will be the address of the property. So, first, you must be clear on the address. It will be stated in the tenancy agreement, followed by the details of you, the tenant, and also the landlord. So if you have a Hong Kong ID, your Hong Kong ID will be there. If you do not have a Hong Kong identity card, your passport will be used as your details. Next, the typical term is 2 years. So it will be clearly stated that you'll be renting for 24 months, followed by the amount of rent. How much are you going to pay each month? Here's the tricky part. You have to state clearly, does your rent include miscellaneous payments? What are the miscellaneous payments? So, you must be clear whether your rent will include the management fees, the government rent, and the government rates. These are ongoing fees which are usually being paid by the landlord. If you are a tenant and you are negotiating a tenancy agreement with the landlord, please save the trouble and let the landlord handle these fees and bundle up in your monthly rent. The typical tenancy agreement will also include what items are in the property, such as furniture or TV or electrical appliances. And lastly, it will also state what will the payment method be. Will it be an auto payment, which will deduct your bank account each month? Will you be writing a check, or will you be paying cash to the landlord each month? So, lastly, you'll be sure to know what stuff is included in the tenancy agreement and what payment methods you will be giving to the landlord. Enough of the boring stuff of what a tenancy agreement compromises. So, we are here to learn how can you get a better deal for yourself. How can you get a better deal? First of all, you have to negotiate, especially with your agent. Okay, it is very common in Hong Kong to get 10 days of free rent, 10 days of free rent, or maybe 20 days of free rent. So you can always negotiate at least 10 days rent free. In many cases, the landlord will ask, why should I give you 10 days rent free? Probably, and in many cases, the landlord will request for your employment proof, usually a salary slip or your employment contract or your business card. So if you can provide those details, your tax slip or things that prove that you can pay rent on time, please use your income proof to get more days of free rent. It is always possible. Besides free rent, what else can you negotiate? We negotiate for better replacement of fixtures. For example, clearly state in your tenancy agreement, it is the responsibility of the landlord to take care of things like the air conditioner, the hot stove, the kitchen stove, and the gas which produces hot water. Things like this. You can even insist in having the landlord replace the washing machine or the TV or the furniture if it spoils. But of course, please be reasonable and state clearly like how many percent will they replace or how will they replace it if given any situation. Always request these things to be stated black and white in the tenancy agreement. Most of the time, you as the tenant, you are responsible and liable to apply for utilities such as water, internet, gas. You are in charge of using your personal name in most of the cases, except when you are renting a subdivided flat, because the subdivided flat will not be able to rent to apply for electricity under your own personal name because it is divided into 3 or maybe 4 units. So the main person who applies electric bill in a subdivided flat is usually the landlord. But if you are not living in a subdivided flat, usually you are in charge of your own utilities. Congratulations! Now you have prepared the whole tenancy agreement. You have found a good agent. You have found a tenant you might like, because most tenants are terrible people in Hong Kong. But before, be very careful. Before you put down your hard-earned money and pay the agent or the landlord, before you can do that, please be aware of 2 important things. Let me tell you what it is right now. Number 1, before you sign a tenancy agreement, request the agent to produce a land search. A land search is some information on what is happening to the building that you will be staying in. So just tell the agent, hey agent, I want a land search please. Can you please produce me one? Most agents are very tricky and greedy. They want to sign the deal fast. Most tenants want to rent out their premises fast. But please always insist on getting a land search. Why? Why get a land search, a copy of land search? If you get a copy of land search, you will get some vital information. And number 1 is this. Try to see if there is a building order listed in the land search. What is a building order? A building order means there are structural defects in the building. Usually happens to older buildings. It means the building has some alteration which makes it a dangerous place to live in. So nothing is more important than a human life, and especially your life, since you come from overseas and you don't want to maybe die in Hong Kong. So always look for a building order in the land search. Okay, building order. Okay, buildingorder. And secondly, always ask this question. Ask your agent, ask the landlord. It is to their best knowledge they should disclose whether that place is haunted, whether there's any ghosts in it, because you don't want to stay in a place full of ghosts, or whether there's been a murder case there. You know, I know many of my white friends or overseas friends, they come and rent in Hong Kong. Most of their apartments are number 4, 14 or 24, because most local Chinese people don't want to stay in the units with number 4, 14 or 24. So when I see my white friend, I say, hey, how are you? And then he say, oh yeah, we talk about where you're living, and then he always gives me this address, which, oh, I'm on the 14th floor, ha ha ha. Then now you understand why, huh? I hope you have gained a valuable information on what to expect, you know, before you sign a tenancy agreement, how to negotiate a better deal for yourself, how to be careful on people who are greedy in Hong Kong, and what you can do to make yourself more comfortable. Okay, in most of the cases, after signing the tenancy agreement, the agent will go and get the tenancy agreement stamped with the government. When it gets stamped, usually those fees are being covered by the landlord, so don't worry about it. But always request a copy of the stamp certificate of your tenancy to validate your tenancy agreement. So in most cases, the law protects the landlord, I would say. It's a bit unfair in Hong Kong. That's why landlords are making a lot of money in Hong Kong. And if you have any questions on how to help yourself get a better deal, or if you have problems with the agent, or there's something wrong with your house, is leaking, what can you do? You know, you can drop me a comment below or send me an email, okay? preston@live.hk. I'm here to help you. I have a burning desire to tell you what's going on and how you can help yourself. And thank you very much for watching this video. I hope to see you next time in another episode of Emo Fin on Hong Kong real estate. Thank you, and I'm signing out. Bye bye.